Lately, Steam has been absolutely flooded with these simulator games, and I kept noticing more and more of them with nearly identical names, store capsules, and feature lists. And a lot of them are just starting to look weirdly similar. Don't even get me started with the amount of supermarket games. The number is endless. And just to be clear, I'm not attacking indie devs or game devs in general. Making games is hard. I'm specifically talking about a trend where a lot of store pages and simulator concepts feel pasted or mass produced. So, instead of just sitting here and complaining about it, I decided to do the responsible thing and open Unity, and I tried to make my own terrible simulator game as fast as possible. First, every simulator game needs a building. Now, I could spend time in a nice store with a proper modeling and a realistic architecture and a clean layout, but that would require effort. So, instead, I made two giant cubes, slapped them in a smaller cube in the middle, and added some windows and called it a store. For the outside, I needed a sidewalk because apparently customers don't like spawning directly into the void. So, I added some concrete, a few walls, and the world's most depressing city background. At this point, the store had no sign, no products, no purpose, and no reason to exist. So basically, we are halfway done. Next, I needed shelves. Now, in normal supermarket games, you have categories. You put cereal with cereal, you put milk into fridges, drinks in coolers, and everything has its place. But this is not a normal supermarket game. In my game, the player could literally put anything on the shelf, and the customers will just accept it. Mystery meat on the floor? Honestly, that's probably fine too. I made a basic shop screen where you can order products from a computer, and instead of having boxes or deliveries or anything professional, when you click buy, the meat just falls from the sky. For my first product, I chose mystery meat. Not chicken, not beef, not pork. Who knows? It's mystery meat. Because if you're making a bad simulator game, your first product should raise legal questions. After the meat amalgamations land outside, the player needs to bring them into the store. So I made a pickup system where you can press E to pick up the meat. Now, instead of carrying one item like a normal human, the meat stacks infinitely in front of you like a mobile game ad. And there's no concerns for workplace safety. If the player wants to carry 47 slabs of mystery meat at once, who am I to stop them? Then you just left click to place it wherever you want, and by wherever you want, I mean wherever Unity physics is willing to tolerate. Now, I needed the shelves to know when something was actually on them. So, I added invisible trigger zones around the shelves. If the meat enters the zone, the game says, yep, that's stocked. The shelf doesn't care if it looks good. The shelf does not care if it is organized. The shelf does not care if half the meat is clipping through the wall. It is on the shelf and therefore it is on sale. Next, I needed to add customers. So, I made a very, very advanced AI customer, and by advanced, I mean they spawn outside, walk into your store, find a random product, pick them up, and they go to checkout. The customers, they don't have a shopping list. No. They don't have preferences. No. They don't even ask questions about the mystery meat. They just grab whatever is available and trust the process. Then, I needed a checkout system. So, when a customer is shopping, they walk up to the counter and dump their items there. The player can just left click each item to scan it. Every scan doesn't play a beep sound. It wasn't in the budget. But it does add money, and the item flies back towards the customer and just disappears. That's definitely how stores work. And once all the items are scanned, the customer leaves for a few minutes. This actually worked surprisingly well. But then I ran into my first major issue. If two customers show up to the checkout at the same time, one customer would get served and the other one would just stand there forever, menacingly, like a man who had seen the source code. So, I had a simple queue system. Now, if the checkout is busy, the customer waits in line. Do they line up nicely? No, but it technically works. And for this project, technically working is basically a miracle. Then, I found another problem. The money worked when I sold items, but when to go back to buy more products, the money reset. Because I accidentally made 2 different money systems. Whoopsie. Which means the store had 2 bank accounts and neither of them trust each other. So I fixed that by making one shared money manager. Wow. Now when you buy meat, the money goes down. When you scan the meat, the money goes up. That might sound basic, but for this game, this is high level economics. At this point, I had everything I needed for a simulator game. A store, a computer, a product, customers, checkout, money, bad UI, and a gameplay loop that technically exists. But suddenly, it started to look like a real game. Not a good one, but in fact, a game you can play. What did I learn? Well, making a similar game that feels like a simulator game is actually pretty easy. Making a good one is the hard part. And I think that's why many of these games feel similar on the outside. The formula is simple. You need a job, a shop, customers, upgrades, money. But making that formula actually fun, polished, and worth playing is completely different problems. So, I will now force my friends to play this game. So, you can go ahead and load up the game and then screen share it. So the reason why I'm showing this screen share is because it wasn't in the budget today to, you know, add audio.
You have a budget?
Yeah,
Wait,
it was.
What do you mean we can't add audio?
We did have it in the budget.
We don't have a budget. What
So here we go. This is Fuck Yeah Supermarket Simulator. I'm pretty you've played these games before.
Increase my mouse sensitivity. The fuck is that?
You can't increase your mouse sensitivity. So you need to go buy products here, or else they won't come inside your store.
Oh.
Set it to the computer, and you can press E on it. That's the computer. Yeah, no, it's a computer. It's a computer.
What are we in the fucking 80s? Oh,
So-
these are just bricks.
You just gotta
These are
look
straight
at
bricks.
You just gotta look at them.
No. You know what? You know Snow. What was it? Snow Treader. Snowpiercer.
Yeah, Snowpiercer.
Yeah, these are the protein bricks from Snowpiercer. They're just made of cockroach meat.
Pretty much. Typically just put all your shit on the shelf, yeah. Doesn't matter how you put it as long as it's on the shelf. Oh, I think he just bought one meat today, yeah. Just one.
I'm gonna stalk you.
Uh-huh. Analyzing every pixel.
Steve here. That's Steve.
Yeah, that's Steve. He's your best friend.
He has that bicycle seat jammed way up the side of his ass.
He does. Do you like the name Misery Meats?
You know what?
We're gonna build a wall!
We're gonna build a wall.
The biggest wall!
The greatest wall.
No other wall like it. It's the biggest, beautiful meat wall. It's gonna keep the customers out of the store. The biggest wall. We're gonna make the customers pay for it. Alright, Bear, so we hit the 14-minute mark here. What is your final rating of the game? What would you give it on a scale of 0 to 100?
Do you allow negative numbers?
Let's do a negative 100 to a positive 100.
Negative 1,000.
You heard it there, folks. He gave it a score of 1,000. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing. It'll help me buy a better webcam than this Logitech one I have currently. I make weird game dev videos, and weird games. In fact, I have one on Steam right now. It is called Cheap Game, Something in the Flock. If you wish to follow it, link is down below. Anyway, cheers.